Interdependence in living beings. Plants are the wonderful creation of God. They prepare food for all. All the creatures depend directly or indirectly on plants for food. Plants range from microscopic size to tall trees. Some plants are green, while some are non-green. Green plants prepare their own food, while non-green plants depend on other sources for their food. Example: molds and mushrooms depend upon the decaying plants and animals for food. They are also known as saprophytes. Plants like cactus do not have leaves. Their leaves are in the form of spines. Their stem is green and fleshy and prepare food by photosynthesis. They are adapted to survive in desert conditions. Some plants eat insects. These plants are called insectivorous plants. Venus flytrap and pitcher plant are the insectivorous plants. Some plants depend wholly on the host plant for their food. Such plants are known as parasitic plants. Forest fires of many plants and animal species. The green plants producers. Majority of plants are green in color because of the presence of green pigment called chlorophyll in them. This pigment absorbs sunlight and helps the plants to prepare food. Chlorophyll is present in all green leaves and also in the young green stems. Due to the presence of chlorophyll in most of the leaves, they prepare their food and are known as food factories of the plants. Photosynthesis.
Photo means light and synthesis means putting together. Only green plants are capable of performing photosynthesis. A plant absorbs water and minerals from the soil through its roots. It absorbs carbon dioxide from air through stomata. Sunlight is trapped by chlorophyll in leaves. These raw materials are then changed into food in the form of simple sugar. During this process, oxygen gas is released.
The process by which green plants prepare their own food with the help of water, carbon dioxide, in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight is called photosynthesis. Animals. Animals are called consumers since they depend directly or indirectly on other organisms for their food. All all animals are consumers. Consumers can be classified as primary consumers, secondary consumers, decomposers, scavengers. Primary consumers. Those animals which depend upon plants for their food are known as primary consumers. These animals consume green plants, grass, etc. and hence are also known as herbivores. Cows, goats, buffaloes, deer, etc. are the primary consumers. Secondary consumers. Those animals which depend upon herbivorous animals for their food are known as secondary consumers. These are also known as carnivores. Tiger, lion, wolves, jackals are the secondary consumers. Decomposers. These organisms decompose the organic matter into small gaseous products like ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, etc. And the leftover product is known as humus. This humus forms an essential part of the soil. The recycling of nutrients in our environment is brought about by decomposers. If decomposers were absent, then only heaps of dead plants and animals would be seen around. Thus, decomposers are also known as natural scavengers. Bacteria and fungi are decomposers. Scavengers. Organisms which feed on the dead and decaying remains of organisms are known as scavengers. Actually, these organisms feed on the dead remains of animals which are killed by predators. Thus, they help in cleaning of environment. Scavengers include eagles, vultures, and hawks. Interdependence. No organisms can exist independently, directly, or indirectly. It depends upon other organisms for its existence. This interaction of one kind of organisms with the other kind of organisms is known as interdependence. Both plants and animals require energy and matter for their survivals. The ultimate source of all energy is sun, and matter can be obtained from soil, air, or water. Matter is utilized by living organisms and finally returned back to the soil by the action of decomposers. In simple words, we can say plants and animals depend on each other for survival. This process is known as interdependence. How do plants depend upon animals? Plants need carbon dioxide to prepare their food. This gas is given out during respiration by animals. Bacteria and fungi decompose complex organic matter into simpler ones. These simple nutrients are taken by plants. Plant seeds are scattered by animals. Insects like butterfly help in pollination of flowers. How do animals depend upon plants? Animals cannot produce their own food. Hence, they depend directly or indirectly on plants for food. Animals need oxygen for respiration. This oxygen is given out by plants. Many animals like squirrel make their home in the holes of the trees. Animals depend on trees for shelter during rain and excessive cold. Food chains. The process of transfer of energy from producers to consumers and then to decomposers is known as food chain. As energy is transferred along a food chain, most of it is lost to the environment as heat. So, less energy passes on to the next consumer level. Thus, very little energy is left, and this limits the number of organisms in the food chain. Balance in nature.
Plants and animals should be present in a balanced state for life on Earth to go smoothly.
If plants are less than animals, then
there will be less food for animals. Animals will not get shelter and become homeless. Oxygen level will decrease.
If animals are less than plants, then carbon dioxide level will go down and photosynthesis will decrease. Dispersal of seeds will decrease. Imbalance in nature. Imbalance in nature can be result of human as well as natural calamities. Natural calamities. Floods. Floods destroy many of the plants as well as animal species. As a result, food chain gets affected. Droughts. Droughts are caused due to excessive dryness of land due to failure of rains for successive years. Drought destroys all the existing plant species and most of the animal species. Forest fires. Forest fires lead to destruction of many plants and animal species. Many of the species that survive migrate from that place, affecting the food chain. Human activities. Deforestation. The process of reckless cutting down of trees is known as deforestation. Deforestation leads to following consequences: soil erosion, loss of habitat of animals, hunting, indiscriminate hunting of animals for sport, skin, hide, horns, etc. has disturbed the food chain, thereby creating imbalance in the nature. Use of pesticides or insecticides. Excessive use of pesticides and insecticides has led to the serious consequences of killing of many important species of insects. Industrial setup. These days, industrial setup is an advancement. Though industries are very important for us, but big lands are cleared to set them up. Many plant and animal species get destroyed, creating an imbalance in nature. Let's recall. Green plants prepare their own food, while non-green plants depend on the other sources for their food. Plants like cactus are adapted to survive in desert conditions. Some plants depend wholly on the host plant for their food. Such plants are known as parasitic plants. The animals which depend upon the plants for their food are known as primary consumers. The animals which depend upon the herbivorous animals for their food are known as secondary consumers. The animals which decompose the organic matter into simple substances which can be easily absorbed by the plants are known as scavengers. Plants and animals depend on each other for survival. This process is known as interdependence. The process of transfer of energy from producers to consumers and then to decomposers is known as food chain. Natural calamities like flood, drought, forest fires, and human activities result in the imbalance in nature.